yourselves to the channel and to the finale of bloody hell, yet another Marvel show. We seem to be flying through these. Moon Knight came and went, Doctor Strange came and went, Thor, Miss Marvel, this, 12 by Night, the Groot miniseries. Bloody hell, it seems like we get so much content, but it goes by so fast. And 9 weeks have passed on She-Hulk. So, people have had their says, positive, mostly negative, on She-Hulk, but I've had a blast. It's nowhere near the strongest show, but it doesn't take itself too serious. We've seen some incredible cameos from Hulk and Wong, Abomination, some other characters who are in the comics, like the guy who can jump out of windows and he's immortal. I think it's like Immortal Man or something like that, or the Frog Guy, or Daredevil, or all these other characters we've wanted to see. But before I go any further, these are not spoilers. These are all in the trailers and advertised very early on in She-Hulk. So of course, subscribe and like if you're new. Let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on episode 9 and She-Hulk in general. Spoilers ahead, and let's dive into the final review on She-Hulk: Attorney at Law, episode 9. Enjoy. So, I'm so conflicted on what to think about this final episode because it does everything She-Hulk sort of does, but in the movie way. You had all the introduction of her putting that tag on her leg so she couldn't transform into She-Hulk. It was revealed that Todd was behind the King Hulk group. Kind of obvious if you think about it because she blew him off at a date, and obviously he was just this egotistical piece of shit. Um, Hulk returned in this episode with his son Scar, and I'm pretty sure I don't know the order of everything, but World War Hulk is basically going to happen once Universal decide to fucking get rid of the rights and give it back to the MCU. So he did go to Sakaar. The ship obviously was a massive indication of that from Thor Ragnarok. He does have a son called Scar, and I think that was incredible. Daredevil returned. Abomination was in this episode. Todd turned into a freakishly looking Hulk. Um, what's her name? Tavia, Taisha. The other villain who keep punching walls and stuff. Wong appeared in the post-credit scene. There was a lot to and She-Hulk clarified it very perfectly when she broke the fourth wall and escaped the She-Hulk episode after Hulk started fighting Abomination. He had took the serum and transformed into a Hulk, and it was Carnage. And then she wants to go and meet Kevin, and she's wondering why certain things are happening. It was a very weird experience because it sort of pulled us out of the She-Hulk episode. It went to like the main menu of Disney Plus. She sort of swung out, dived into Marvel's Assembled thing where she was on the Marvel's campus where like all the writing goes down. She's hunting down for Kevin Feige whilst kicking the shit out of real guards. And then she comes across a robotic version of Kevin Feige where she sees videos and footage of all the Marvel films we've seen over the years, and she addresses like why certain stories are happening, similar stories to the super serum of Captain America and the Winter Soldiers and all that sort of stuff. And it was just a really weird experience. I don't know how to react to it. Like it was funny to see, but I don't know if it's funny, haha, or funny what the fuck has just gone on. Um, um and I'm really conflicted on what's going to happen. Daredevil's back in town for a week. Todd got arrested. Abomination got arrested, but then he got freed in the post-credit scene and went to Taj Mahal. Not Taj Mahal. That's in India. The place where Wong suggested. So I'm confused of how he gets to that place and is in Thunderbolts. It would have made more sense him being in prison and being like Suicide Squad, and they're going after all these prisoners or convicts and having to assemble them. But now he's in a place where not many people know about. Like I said, Hulk returned. They were having more family meals and stuff. She could transform into She-Hulk, and she didn't have the thing on her ankle. It was it was fun. It was easy. I'd say it was just random as fuck because I just don't know. I was so hyped when Hulk jumped through the building and Abomination was sticking up for Jen, and we got all these scenes. And I want to say this more than anything. Jen, Tatiana, who plays Jen, was so good as She-Hulk. She looks incredible as Jen and She-Hulk. She pulls off the role so well. And she's so likable as both characters, and she's learned to be both. And that's what I can reflect on in the season as a whole. The characters were great, the story was good. Um, because as she stated, it was about her coming to an understanding of she's two people now. She's Jen, she's She-Hulk. How does she balance her life? And by the end of it, she had balanced it. She had arrested Blonsky. She arrested Todd. She was going to do everything by the law and not use She-Hulk in that aspect. But when she needed to use She-Hulk, she would use it for the good. Um, so again, people have their thoughts on She-Hulk, but I think it was a terrific ride. Not the greatest show ever. I will stand by that, but a terrific, joyful experience of the MCU, trying new things, having cameos, debuting Daredevil in the MCU, and not Matt Murdock, because Matt Murdock debuted in Spider-Man, but I'm saying Daredevil over everything. And they've built a world, of Hawkeye and Echo and Daredevil and She-Hulk and all these characters who are the street level. And I'm so excited for the future. They talked about on-screen appearances, on-screen credit. Um, they were going to touch upon the Hulk stuff, but you thought they were going to hide it, and then he revealed that he's with his son. So a lot to take from this. A lot of excitement, a lot of confusion, but ultimately, She-Hulk Attorney at Law was an absolute blast. And I think people need to just watch it properly and stop taking things so fucking serious. Like, I don't understand how people can watch this, for example, and say it's shit. But then they can go and watch an hour episode of Lord of the Rings and it be the most boring piece of material ever. I'm talking about the Rings of Power. I watched episode 1 and there's a reason why I haven't returned to the show yet. Because it's the most slow-paced piece of shit. But people watch this and they just it's how's the best way of putting this? They just read too much into things. You're expecting CGI to be on point. CGI has never downgraded in the MCU, and if you think that, you're just lying to yourself. Did you watch Shang-Chi? Did you watch Spider-Man? Did you watch Thor? Did you watch Doctor Strange? Did you watch Miss Marvel? Did you watch Moon Knight? Have you watched this? It's a green fucking giant, and people hate on the MCU. Stop watching it. Just stop watching it if you don't like it. And I don't want to rant anymore because the next project, Black Panther, comes out and people will have things to say about that. And I do have things to say about that, because the whole T'Challa storyline, Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa stuff, but people are all right with the Red Hulk, William Hurt getting replaced. So, and I'm talking about that because he is a Red Hulk and would have featured in this, and he would have featured in Thunderbolts, and we would have had an appearance of Red Hulk, and that could have been incredible. But I'm hoping it's gone and no one talks about it, just like how no one will talk about T'Challa, because that is deservingness of they have to both be equal. I've made a video on it, by the way. Shield Attorney at Law, what do I rate it out of perfect 10 out of 10? I am going to give She-Hulk a 7 out of 10 because it was brilliant to see Charlie back. It was brilliant to see what Tatiana did. And it was a great journey. The cameos did it for me, Hulk and Wong and Abomination. I loved what Tim Roth did with Abomination. I think he was brilliant. One of the standout acts in the whole season. The lawyers and stuff, enjoyable. And ultimately, I had a fantastic time with She-Hulk Attorney at Law. So go check it out for yourself. Go in with your own mindset. Do not listen to Rotten Tomatoes or reviews or opinions of others because you'll be put off. It's a very easy watch. I think the issue is if you'd watched it from day one and just watched one a week, you would have enjoyed it just like us or me. If you're watching it 9 episodes on the bounce, you're probably not going to enjoy it because you'll just read too much into it. So anyway, make sure you're watching all the MCU stuff if you want to be caught up because there's a lot of stuff coming out. I'm going to make a video on this. Spider-Man got announced, heavily rumored announced. We got Deadpool. Fantastic Four, all the Avengers films, all the TV shows, all these specials that are probably going to be announced that are going to be in the Werewolf by Night form. So there's a lot to keep up with. And yeah, you could binge watch it, but it's going to come to the point of where it's going to be ridiculously hard to catch up in the MCU. If you wait till like Kang Dynasty to binge watch everything, don't forget you've got every single episode, every single movie, and it's going to get ridiculous at some point. So just make sure you're keeping caught up. If you're a fan of the Marvel Studios and MCU, do let me know down below in the comments. If you're not, do tell me why as well. I'd be intrigued to understand why people don't like She-Hulk. I could see the issues, but I'm not going to read too much into them because, end of the day, you just hate everything because everything has faults. If you read into absolutely everything, that's the fact of it. So I'll leave you at that. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you next one. Goodbye. And final note on that, I'm going to officially be watching the final MCU thing that I've yet to watch and review. I've got a lot of MCU stuff to review, but I've never watched the full season of What If, so I will be watching that from next Wednesday for the foreseeable future, if I can get the word out, until I wrap it up. So look out for What If, Black Panther, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special coming at some point, which is yet to be unveiled. And goodbye.